Hey guys, what's going on? After posting that picture on Instagram about, my sickness that I have, I decided I just want to go ahead and do a video and talk more about it just because I didn't want to make this long as, caption on that picture explaining um, or talking about what I go through on a daily basis or what I have gone throughout these 5 years since I was diagnosed. Um, I just felt like it would have been way too long. I just wanted to keep it nice and short. But yeah, so in this video, I will be talking about my sickness, what UC is or ulcerative colitis. I'll go more into depth of how I ended up getting it, my story behind it, when it started, how I the symptoms and all of that. So if anybody that you know of, any loved ones have any similar symptoms like this, now what it could possibly end up being. But without further ado, let me go ahead and just dive into this, let you know what exactly ulcerative colitis is. So as you noticed on my picture, I did leave like a short definition of what ulcerative colitis is. And what that is that it's an inflammatory bowel disease that causes irritation in the colon or the digestive tract. So you develop ulcers in your colon, and it sucks because when you're trying to, have a bowel movement, trying to go poop, it's hard because it hurts. It literally feels like your colon is just being cut up like inside, and then it's the worst pain ever. And sometimes you don't even have to eat anything in order to feel the pain. You can be drinking water, and then all of a sudden, boom, you got to go use the bathroom. And it sucks. It's probably the worst pain anybody can feel. Well, okay, I wouldn't say the worst pain, but it's a pain that just really, really, really sucks. And how all of this started, like I said in my post, it was back, 5 years ago. It was about 5 years ago. So back in 2013, I was diagnosed. Um, but I didn't start having these symptoms until 2012. So in 2012, I was, going to early college, trying to finish up there. And yeah, I started noticing that I was starting to have more bowel movements in the morning, starting to have loose stool, aka diarrhea. Um, and I didn't make much of it just because, sometimes, I don't know if you guys go through this, but sometimes when you get nervous in the mornings, especially for me, I usually end up, having diarrhea, which is kind of weird. I don't know if you guys experience that. If not, that's cool, but so I had that going on, and I didn't really make much of it. And it wasn't like every day. It was like every now and day I would have diarrhea in the morning, and it just whatever. It was like normal to me. So it just gradually went like that, and then it got to the point where I started seeing like little streaks of blood. So again, I didn't make much of it just because there was times where I was constipated, and I thought, that those streak of blood when I would wipe was just me, straining and pushing, and I probably cut my butthole. And I know this may sound nasty to you guys, but that's the thing. A lot of people that have UC don't like talking about it just because of this, because they don't like talking about pooping, talking about having diarrhea, talking about having blood, and because to them it's embarrassing. But for me, it's to a point now where I just don't care. I'll let you guys know if I'm ever talking to you what's going on, and just explain to you, like, without being embarrassed. So that's why that's why a lot of people don't talk about it. That's why you haven't heard about this disease, because people don't really talk about it. But I'm kind of paving a way. I'll talk more about that towards the end. But so yeah, um, so I started seeing blood. Didn't make much of it. It was just little streaks. And it would be every now and then when I would be constipated. So I didn't make much of it. So, fast forward a couple months, I gradually started using more or having more diarrhea. Again, I didn't make much of it. So 2012, I think we ended up going to Mexico. Yeah, I think it was 2012. Honestly, I can't even remember. All I know, I didn't even remember what year it was that I got diagnosed. I'm pretty sure it was 2013. It was back. It was back in 2013. I think 2012 we had gone to Mexico, and during that time I was having some issues again, using the bathroom, and as soon as we had crossed over to Mexico, our van ended up messing up. And we were fortunate enough to find some people, or some mechanics that were able to fix our truck. They allowed us to stay at their house, and they gave us food and all that stuff, and that's where it all just kicked in. I remember going to use the bathroom, and it was just diarrhea, and obviously for you guys that go to Mexico, you already know that when you go over there, you're gonna have some sort of stomach bug or something's gonna happen, and that's what I thought it was. So I started getting a fever, started getting just really sick. And I remember once we got to my grandma's house, I just unloaded, I just destroyed the bathroom. And after that, I felt like crap. I got a fever. I don't think I was throwing up. At least I don't remember throwing up. Had chronic diarrhea, and it was like that for a whole week. My first week in Mexico, that's how it was. And I got so frustrated. I got so mad. I kept telling my parents, just send me back home. I don't want to be here. What's the point of me being here if I'm sick for a whole week? There's no point in me being here. So kept telling me no, and we went to go see a doctor, and he gave me some medicine, and I guess the medicine worked because I got better. And for a whole week I was all right. I still had diarrhea, and we once I got better, me and my cousin, we ended up getting some tacos, and we always go to this place. I never had any issues eating here before, so we went, got some tacos, and as soon as I finished, we got in the car. It just instantly hit me, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not feeling too good. And again, I started feeling that fever kicking in, that stomach pain, just knowing right away I was gonna get sick. And as soon as we got back home, I just unloaded again. And later that night, I was having fever, I was shaking, I wanted to throw up, I had chronic diarrhea, and it was all over again like it was the first week. So again, all a whole week just pooping myself. And now I started noticing actual blood within the toilet, not in my God, I lost train of thought. Not in the toilet paper, but in the actual toilet. And I was like, this is not good. This is not normal. So I went and told my mom, or both my parents. I was like, hey, look, I'm starting to lose blood, and I don't think that's normal. So we went to go see a doctor again, and he just pretty much told me, yeah, you probably have a stomach virus, a stomach bug. Here's some medication for you to take. This should help you out. This should help the bug leave your stomach. And I'm like, whoopie-doo, more medication. So ended up taking the medication. Eventually the fever went away. Didn't have the fever, but I still had the chronic diarrhea. Even when we left Mexico and we came back to Asheboro, I guess, I still had chronic diarrhea. I was still seeing blood in my stool. feeling fatigued, feeling tired. And at this point, I thought that I still had like a stomach bug or a parasite or something in me. We're going to go see a doctor. Again, he didn't know what was going on. He thought it was a stomach virus, so he gave me more medication to take. And went with that, but nothing was changing. I kept having chronic diarrhea, kept being constipated, and it was just ongoing, just wouldn't stop. So the medication wasn't working, and went back to the doctor, told him, hey, nothing's changing. And because of me, constantly using the bathroom, I ended up getting hemorrhoids. And if you guys don't know what hemorrhoids are, they're like little like blisters. I won't call them blisters. Well, they look like blisters, but they're like little, I guess, blisters that develop either inside your butthole or outside. And it sucks. It hurts. It hurts so bad. And at first, that's what the doctor told me. Oh, the reason why you're seeing blood in your stool is because of your hemorrhoids, doing blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, He gave me some, pills I had to stick up my butt, which was not pleasant, needless to say. And the hemorrhoids did eventually disappear. But the chronic diarrhea, I was still seeing blood in my stool. It was still there. So it got to the point where finally the doctor, this is like going into 2013, the doctor was like, you know what, I'm going to send you to a gastroenterologist, see what they can diagnose you with, because this is not, a stomach virus. This is something else that's going on in your colon. So went to go see the gastroenterologist. I told him what was going on, my symptoms, and he was letting me know, oh, well, it could be this, it could be that. We're going to do a colonoscopy, and from there on, we'll be able to diagnose you what you have. So I was like, okay, whatever. But again, more medication. And so we, during the procedure of the colonoscopy, it sucks. It sucks because they give you this liquid, this powder crap that you got to drink before your procedure. So before your procedure, you can't eat anything. All you can eat is like soft food, like liquid food, like Jello, Jello that doesn't have any color to it. No red, no orange. Has to be a different color. And go away. And has to be a different color, or no color at all. So I was drinking Gatorade, clear Gatorade. I was eating Jello, and I was like that for a whole day, while also taking that nasty ass drink they give you, which pretty much flushes everything out. So it pretty much, on top of me already having chronic diarrhea, it was that liquid was making me poop even more, and it sucked. It sucked just like every 5 or 20 minutes going like in and out of the bathroom, in and out, just flushing everything out. And the bad thing is if you don't flush everything out by the next day, they're gonna have to move the procedure to another day. So you're gonna have to do this whole process all over again, and it sucks. So I was fortunate enough to be okay with it. I didn't drink all of that nasty ass drink they gave me. So we got to the procedure. I was a little nervous because I didn't know what to expect. So ended up putting me to sleep. And funny thing is during the procedure, I ended up waking up in the middle of it, and I remember just looking up and seeing the camera, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I could feel like the camera just going inside of my colon. I was like, oh, that feels weird. And I was able to see my colon. I just remember seeing the nurse looking down at me and going, oh, and she put me back to sleep. And I woke up. I remember bits of it. I remember my dad asking me, what do you want to go eat? And I was like, cookout. And I remember blacking out and then waking back up, eating my cheeseburger, and then blacking out again. And it sucked. It was pretty bad because the next day, I was a little sore. But I think a couple days later, I went back to the doctor, and that's where they told me, hey, looks like you have ulcers in your colon. We're going to diagnose you with ulcerative colitis. And then that's where he explained to me what it was. It's inflammatory bowel disease. It's inflammation, in the digestive tract. You have blood, seeping out, leaking out, your mucus, your wall, everything. Pretty much my whole colon is messed up. And they started putting me on stronger medications to to heal it, or to make it stop. And what the medication they put me on was prednisone, which is the shittiest medicine you will ever take. I don't recommend anybody taking that crappy ass medicine, because all it does is make you feel even worse. Because what that medication does is that it lowers your immune system. Because okay, so what UC, I'm gonna call it UC. What UC does is that for some reason your immune system starts attacking your colon, which causes you to have the ulcers, the blood, everything like that. For some reason, all the bad bacteria in your colon, your immune system starts attacking it, to a point where it starts attacking your good bacteria, which causes all of that protective stuff around your colon to just disappear, because your immune system is just attacking it. And so what the medication they were putting me on, the prednisone, what it does is it lowers my immune system so that it won't attack my colon, so I can regain that good and bad bacteria. But on top of that, because it lowers my immune system, I'm prone to get sick even more. Not only that, but I feel tired all the time. I feel fatigue. Well, fatigue, tired, it's the same thing. I just have no motivation to do anything. And your face, oh my God, your face gets so swollen. There's like some pictures on my Instagram if you want to look at them. Like in the very, very, very bottom, when I first started, this Instagram page again, there's a picture of me where you can just see my cheeks are just freaking swollen, and it's because of that medication. And another thing too, that medication, it's a steroid, so you're constantly eating whatever you want to eat, because you're craving sugar, you're craving all this types of food, and it also makes you gain weight. Not good weight, bad weight. So you get fat, you get swollen, and it's the shittiest medicine they can put you on. And they start tapering you off it for a little bit, but still, it sucks, because they scare you by saying that if you just stop taking it, all this stuff is going to happen. It doesn't. Nothing happens. If you know what you're doing, and if you do it the right way, nothing happens. Because I've been off it for 3 years. 2 to 3 years. Nothing's happened to me. Oh, and another thing, it gives you the worst case of acne. My whole back was full of acne because of that medication. I've never had, back acne ever. And I would get these huge freaking pimples on my back, on my arms, on my chest. It was just horrible, man. And it was the worst medication you can ever be put on. Miraculously, the prednisone did help me with everything. It did kind of like, it didn't cure me, but it put me, or I don't know why it did that. It didn't cure me, but it did put me in remission, which means I was stable for a moment. But I had a flare up, and the medication wasn't working anymore. So my doctor at the time told me, you know what, we're gonna bring the bad boys in. We're gonna start doing injections. I wasn't too fond about that, because he was telling me all the, things that could happen if I have an allergic reaction to it, if it doesn't work, it could lead to cancer, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, dude, what the hell? Like, this medicine should be helping me, not killing me even more. And so I was a little hesitant on doing that. So it got to the point where, we started doing injections, and it sucked, because I had to give my injections to myself. And at this point, I was already living in Charlotte, so I had to come down here and take the injections here because I had to keep them in the refrigerator, or I would keep some up in Charlotte and do them over there. But at the same time, it just sucked. So again, it did help me get into remission, but I think I was like 6 months into remission. But then I had another flare up going to Mexico. This is, I think, 2016 now. I think it's 2016. Went to Mexico in December, or the end of December, which was the end of 2015. Got there, everything was awesome. I was feeling great, no flare-ups, nothing until the last freaking day there. The last day there, I had my flare-up, and that's where everything started up again. Got back to Mexico, kept, on the medication. Nothing, it wasn't helping me out anymore. So my body somehow, kind of stopped taking in that medication. And after all of that, they put me back on prednisone, which fucking sucked, because not only was I on prednisone, I was also on that stupid injection, which made me feel even worse. And it sucks, man. It sucked, and I was tired of just feeling the way I was feeling. And it was like that for a while, and it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? Screw this medication. I don't need it. I don't want it. My body doesn't need it. There's a lot of home remedies that I can do. I can just change my diet, start working out, start doing different things, and just be positive. And guess what? It freaking worked. All that stupid medication that they were giving me, all that crap they were feeding me into my brain, telling me that, oh, you're going to have this for the rest of your life. Bullcrap. If you can just change your diet, change your health style, your living style, your home environment, everything, be more positive, you don't need medication. Yes, you might need it if it's really, really, really severe, but honestly, you don't. I've been off medication for 2 years now. I stopped taking my medication back in 2016. I stopped giving myself injections. I stopped taking that stupid prednisone. Everything. I stopped it. I don't put any, antibiotics in my body, because all that does is like messes you up even more. Unless it's like really, really, really bad, then yes. But no, I don't do none of that. And honestly, I've somewhat controlled it. Yes, I still have my flare-ups right now. I'm going through one, but I'm not on medication. I'm doing a lot better now than I was when I was on medication. Like, the body that you see in that Instagram picture, the body that I have now, no medication, nothing. The body to the left, that was me on medication. That was me working out. I was working out during that time. I wasn't like lifting heavy weights. I was doing push-ups. I would go play soccer. I was still active, but I was on medication. So you see the difference now. No medication, or medication, no medication. You can see that you don't need to be taking medication. All that crap that they're giving you is making you feel even worse. There are home remedies. There are people that have been cured with this disease by just changing their diet, their lifestyle, and that's what I'm doing right now. It's going to take a while. I'm not sitting here, planning to be healed within like 2 months. But it's going to happen. Eventually, I will be healed, because I'm feeling a lot better than I was 2-3 years ago. A whole lot better. Like I said, I'm still going through a flare-up. I'm still having pain. I'm still losing a lot of blood. Still, having to poop a lot. But compared to, like, the pain and how I was feeling 2 to 3 years ago, it is so much better. Like, it is so much better. I'm more positive. I have a lot more energy. Keep in mind, there's times where I still feel fatigued, tired, and I don't want to do certain things, but it's not as bad as it was before. And I'm just really happy where I'm at right now. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm really happy, but I'm happy where I'm at now compared to how I was 2 to 3 years ago in that picture to the left. Because it was the worst feeling that you can go through. And it just sucks. But like I was saying before, a lot of people don't really like talking about it just because it involves poop, blood, and other stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I have shit myself several times, and I've been fortunate enough to done all of that either around my family or close friends, not in public. I'm either driving back home or in my car when that happens. But still, it's one of the crappiest feelings is shitting yourself, and it sucks. But with that being said, again, like I said, a lot of people don't like talking about this. That's why you haven't heard too much about it and what it is. But this is my story. Obviously, there's certain stuff that I've left out, just because this video is already going on for 30 minutes. But if you guys think that you have this, I highly recommend you guys going to a gastroenterologist. Well, actually, going to a doctor first, because they have to refer you to go see a gastroenterologist. So go see a doctor first, get checked out, and the faster you can treat this, the more likely you are to heal it. Because like I said before, it took them about almost a year for them to diagnose me, and because of that, I wasn't able to heal it quick enough. Because by the time they diagnosed me, my colon was destroyed. It was done. It got to a point where they were telling me, we might need to remove your entire colon, which is bullcrap, because I don't want to. I'm too young for that. But that's my story. That's where I'm at right now. Like I said, right now I'm going through a flare-up. I was actually at 135 last month, and now because of this flare-up, I lost about 8 pounds, so I'm at like 127 now. But I'm still able to retain some of that muscle, which I'm so happy, because if I was to lose all the muscle that I've gained, it would suck. It honestly would probably demotivate me. Is that even a word? It would just not motivate me to keep going to the gym. Or who knows? Maybe it would motivate me more. Because right now I keep going. It's not gonna stop me. Even if I'm feeling like shit, like today, I'm not feeling like good. Yesterday, I felt amazing. I felt freaking great. And that's the other thing about it. There's days where you're gonna feel great. There's days where you're gonna feel like shit. And there's days where you're gonna be feeling good in the morning and then feel like shit the rest of the day, or you're gonna feel like shit in the morning and then feel amazing throughout the whole day. So it's something you don't know. And that's another thing I also want to state. Little rant. When people tell me, oh, it's all in your head, it's not. It's easier said than done for you because you're not going through it, but it's not. It's something that I can't control. It's like, this is probably a worst analogy to do, but it's like if you break a bone or if you sprain an ankle and you feel that pain, and I'm just going up to you and tell you, dude, suck it up. It's all in your head. Stand back up. Walk it off. You can't do that because you're constantly going to be feeling that pain unless you have a high pain tolerance. Okay, but this is something you can't control. You can't just sit there and like control it, because you can literally be feeling fine. I could literally be sitting here feeling fine, talking to you, having a nice conversation, and then, hello, it's me, your UC, your best friend. Time to go to the bathroom, and I gotta go to the bathroom. There's times we can hold it, but boy, it doesn't take a lot. There's times where I'm like sweating just because I have to hold it in. But there's a lot more that I can talk about, but it's already past 30 minutes, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But if you want more information about this, I highly recommend you guys doing your research, looking stuff up, and if if you're one of those people that have it and just don't want to talk about it, feel free to hit me up. Feel free to send me a message through Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Talk to me. Yeah, I'm more than welcome to like have a conversation with you about it, because I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about it, and I feel like the more you talk about it to people and let them know what's going on, the more accepting you are to it. And that's how I am now. I'm more accepting to it. Before, I never liked talking about it because it was embarrassing. Now it's like, yes, it's embarrassing, but I like, talking about it now because it doesn't bother me anymore. It's not as embarrassing as it was before. So, again, if you guys are going through this, or if you think you're going through it and you think you might have this ugly, nasty disease, don't be afraid to hit me up. Don't be afraid to send me a message, saying, hey, I've been going through this. Could I have it? What can I do? Who do I need to go see? Yeah, I'm here for that. And I would like for you guys to hit me up and let me know. But anyways, I'm gonna end the video right here. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. But yeah, that's kind of my story, not my full story, but just hitting some of the points of what I go through on a daily basis. Well, actually, I didn't even talk about what I go through on a daily basis. Just know that I poop a lot, I lose a lot of weight, and I lose a lot of blood. And that's been like that for the past 5 years. So just imagine that. But alright, guys, that's going to end it for today. As always, thank you for watching. You guys have a nice day.